Nyachan, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm excited you're here. When our friend introduced us, like we were saying, she undersold you a lot, and then I dived in your content, and I got no idea where to start. Like, you do so much, and there's so many topics we can cover. So I'm going to throw it back to you. Over the last month or so, what have you found that people are struggling with that would help them find their true form?
Anyway, nice to meet you. I'm just very excited to also be here because, the friend that connected me is someone I trust. And I was looking forward to find out what's going on here. So thank you for having me. I think what I'm finding through my work and also my personal life or just people around me, I think people are just so obsessed with having a good mental health that they're forgetting they actually are in a good mental health sometimes. What I'm trying to say is, if you got a bed, you got food, you got good health, you got some sort of relationships, doesn't have to be intimate, one or two good friends, maybe you're talking to one family member of yours at least, you're okay. You can improve it, but you're not exactly And so I think people just like this overconsumption about having good mental health, it's making even people who are in good mental health think they're not in good mental health. And the real people who are not in good mental health are not even getting the support because the shadow of everybody trying to chase the same mental health. So I think for me, if people just take a step back, evaluate where you're at, what's going on right now, you'll see you are okay.
It's true, isn't it? Like, everybody's obsessing about having that perfect life and being happy, and you have to be happy all the time. But you're not going to be happy all the time.
You can't be.
No.
Not now, anyway, with all the things that are going on in the world.
Yeah.
Like, to be fully happy, like, it would be good if everything was under control. We had great government, we had good interest rates, we had healthy foods that are not, that are organically being grown, and we had like family members that are understanding of our lifestyles and or whatnot. Like, we had good relationships, maybe we found the right people and all those things. Like, there's so many elements that are not in our control. If all that was in control, we can have that big, wonderful, great mental health that we all want. However, a lot of things we're not in control. We can't control the weather, whether the sun shines and we get enough vitamin D, or whether there is a tsunami, or whether Donald Trump is going to be out and we're going to have there's so many, you can't control all that. And you need everything to work together to have the full picture of good mental health. So I think we just need to be grateful for where things are at and realize that that picture is probably not going to come anytime soon.
Yeah, but like you said, just accepting the world as it is and being happy with that. I want to dive more into that, but before we do, how about we dive into you? Let's go back. What's your story? How did you end up where you are now?
My story is long, interesting, intriguing. I love my story. I am South Sudanese, so that's my story. I am from a tribe called Nuer. You can say hello, Mala, in my language. I came from, I lived in various refugee camps before coming here when I was 11. So right until I was 11, I was living in refugee camps. I have really good memories of refugee camps, joy, fun, people who are together, people who are supporting each other, people who are living in the moment, people who are able to improvise, they take opportunities that come, they don't whinge. Like, I have a really good memory of how gratitude can change everything. So though people, think of, refugee camp, hungry black children with big tummies, that does exist, but there's a lot of also hungry children that I enjoy, that are supported, that have really healthy relationships and very connected communities, and know how to look after their mental health together. So that's how my story began. So I lived in refugee camps, came to Australia with my dad, my stepmom, and my 3 half sisters who are here, love dearly. But all I ever remember is always being hungry to make something of myself and make something of, do something that will leave a legacy for others. And yeah, as soon as I was 16, moved out, got a job, earned some good money, bought my first car. Everything I have, I've always worked hard for. I had a sport car by the time I turned 17. Had a Mazda MX-5, didn't even have a license, paid it outright. So, worked really hard. And yeah, from there, I just kept trying to better myself, weed out some people that were not healthy, was always conscious of my decision, my thoughts, where I'm going to live, who I'm going to talk to. Every single day, I control the next. Like, not control, but I'm very conscious about the things I do. I don't just do, I think about it. Then started an organization, a charity. That's what I'm saying. Like, my story is like, it just, I don't know how it all happened within 24 years of being in this country, but all that just happened. And that's just some of my story. Started a charity called
When
Nas.
did that start?
2023.
Okay.
But it started long before that because I was working on the model of care. I was studying. I was doing my master's, everything. I was putting all the pieces together before it can actually open.
Mm-hmm.
Launched it in 2023 and still thriving now. Yeah, and the story just keeps unfolding.
You said that you think about your decisions you're making before you do it. You don't just go out and do things. I think that's a very good skill to have. A lot of people just do and don't think, unfortunately. And where did that come from? Is that just something you've always had, or was that a learnt skill?
See, living in a refugee camp and not knowing what's going to happen next, you adopt certain skills of being hypervigilant, everything has to be ration, right? Even food. Everything, your one outfit, you have to make sure, when am I watching? I'm going to wash it before I go to church. Like, everything was calculated in order to keep going because you didn't have abundance. You couldn't just make mistakes. Like, you had to be careful about what's happening, right? And so I think it's a trauma response, but it's worked into my benefit. And when I say I control all my decisions, it doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. It doesn't mean I'm not careless, but whatever I do, I don't sit back and regret it. If I choose to be careless, there's high possibility I made that choice, either because I'm like, life is too short, or because I just feel like that's what I need in that moment. So every decision I make, I don't sit back and whine and complain about it. That's what I mean by I am fully aware about the choices I make. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but I am not regretful. So
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And
you said you were putting all the pieces to the puzzle before you started your business.
Charity.
Like, was that just something you started doing and putting the pieces together before you knew what was happening, or did you have that goal in your head, that vision?
Yeah, it's a bit of everything. I'm very sentimental. Like, I'm so blessed that pretty much everything that I thought about or worked towards, even if I didn't really understand what it was, they seem to come to life somehow. And so I'm very passionate about social justice. I've always been that type of friend that there could be a crowd of people. I will not go for what's popular. I will go for what is right. I'll stand up for the unpopular. I will argue till moon or cows come home, whatever that saying is, to protect someone I don't even know versus the person I know. I like what is right. I like the truth. I don't care how bad the truth is. Like, I enjoy authentic people, and so I've always wanted to stand up, like to just do something. I've always been destined and enjoy walking with those who are marginalized, whatever that looked like. I didn't know it was going to be mental health. It could have been, I worked in nursing home because I wanted to work with old people and support them because they've done so much for the country and, they deserve to be looked after. I worked with people with disability because, they deserve to be looked after. I worked in retail. Like, I did so many things, and a lot of time it's come back to me wanting to make a difference, right? And so I didn't know what it was going to look like. I didn't know it was going to be charity. But after I worked in aged care for about 6 years, I was drawn into talking. I was drawn into uplifting. Like I would talk to veterans. I would talk to the lady that no one's talking to, the one that's more quiet. Like I was always drawn to the people that just seems to be a bit left out. And it always felt good. And so I was like, what is it that I can do? What type of qualification and job can I do that allows me to do this more? Because in a nursing home, you couldn't just keep doing that. Like you didn't go there to be a counselor. I went there as a support worker, right? So, and then I was like, I'll do psychology. And I didn't end up doing psychology. I did a diploma of health science. And then I was like, oh, I like drug and alcohol and mental health. So I did a bachelor in drug and alcohol and mental health. And I was like, I want to specialize in mental health specifically because I feel like it's a driver for most things. So when I did my master's in that, and as I was doing my placements and, working in the field, I kept seeing that there was a particular community that wasn't being represented. So I was like, we need to change that. So I started doing a lot of outreach, meeting with people that are homeless or drug and alcohol, have, drug and alcohol issues and other problems. And I was like, I can't just come here by myself. We need a group. So I started telling other people to come on outreach. So I would call nurses, organizations, big organizations, literally saying, what is your disasters appeal program that you have? Like it's COVID and people who are homeless are not getting vaccinated. Like, what are you doing about that? And I would just sell it to them. And because my skills from retail worked really well, like I never got off the phone without getting what I need. And so they were like, we can donate this. We can get bunk bed. Like things they don't usually do for that sort of cohort was being done. I had nurses who would be like, we don't usually do outreach for a vaccination, but we'll come with you if you say so. They'll set up their little stations and vaccinate people that they wouldn't even ever go to. And so I was like, okay, we need to turn this into an organization because I've got a wealth of experience, connections. I'm good with collaboration. I need a point of where people can reach me. So I started the project Path to Home. I've written it, and I was waiting for an opportunity. I was like, I don't have money. I've got a mortgage, 3 little kids. Like, where am I supposed to get the money? I've written my first grant. I didn't even know what, I've never heard of grants. I didn't even know what grants were. All right, and then I just went to a hotel for 2 nights, just put my hat on and just written it all night. Submitted. I was up all night and submitted. I was like, we'll see. And then they called me. They're like, we like it. And I was like, oh. It worked. Now I have to make it happen. They're like, do you have a venue? I was like, no, but I can look for a venue. So I started doing all this. And then, 2.5 years later, it's big. Well, it's not big, but we have staff. We have volunteers. We have helped dozens of students doing their placements who would come and say, this is the best place I've ever done my any work experience before. And I'm like, yeah.
Amazing.
It is going somewhere.
So what are you doing now? What's the charity doing now?
What's the charity doing now? We run various programs, counseling programs. We have case management. We still do the outreach, which is how it all started and it's what the community wants. There's a lot of shame, stigma in seeking help, but also there's a lot of barriers coming to the office. So we won't go there. We go there, we take food, we take gift bags and give them out and just talk. We leave our numbers, and usually the next day or even in that moment someone does come. Like I had instances where I've taken people from there and they end up in rehab, and 12 months later they've changed their life around. So it does work. We do training, so that I guess community understanding that I have, as well as passion for mental health training, and I'm a suicide trainer as well. So I train practitioners and community members and just average people who wants to also learn the skills to make a difference. So we do trainings, doing a lot at the moment. There's a lot going on in the African Australian community, as you know. So we've been asked to deliver collective healings, so group therapies that will be coming up. So that's some of the things that just came, and I'm excited because that's the sort of stuff I really like to do, bringing people together and with shared experience, heal together, laugh. Even if just being together, it's enough for me, just seeing people exchange laughter and uplift each other and validate each other and say, I'm going through that too, or you too, and what do you do to change that? Like, that's exciting stuff that I love, and it's sustainable. Like, you could support so many people with just a few couple of coins to put for catering, and it's enough for community to heal. It doesn't have to be this big hospital-based thing. So that's the stuff, some of the things that are happening. We work with young people in criminal justice. I deliver counseling sessions by Zoom or sometime in person. Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I appreciate all the energy and effort you put in all those things.
Yeah.
It is very inspiring. Can we go back to your masters?
Mm-hmm.
Drug and alcohol. Mm-hmm. What's the effect of that on mental health?
Bruh, that's a long. So to correction, my master's is in mental health. I've got a bachelor in community mental health and drug and alcohol.
Okay.
Well, from what I'm seeing on the ground is unaddressed mental health issues, unaddressed social isolation, unaddressed unemployment, unaddressed racism, unaddressed discrimination at school, unaddressed poor relationships, and parental overwhelm, and many more things. Is people have no choice but to take on substance to numb, to cope. And if I was in that situation, I would do exactly the same.
When you're saying unaddressed, what do you mean by that?
Well, like, people either are not aware that they are experiencing these issues, or because of stigma, they don't seek help, or they don't know where to get help. But also we have systems and services that are not responsive to people's needs. There's a lot of barriers to getting help, like wait lists are crazily long when people are motivated, especially people with drug and alcohol, like this crazy wait. You're like ready to stop drinking and you want to get your life back. They're like, oh yeah, that would just take a couple of 6 months. In the meantime, keep drinking because it's a safe thing to do. And then before you know it, it's becoming chronic, and people are losing their lives, relationships, families, because of the wait. So that's what I mean by unaddressed, like so many levels of unaddressed things, like there's no early intervention. Yeah.
What can people do? Let's address those people. They want to change. Mm-hmm. They're in that situation. They've called up and it's like 6 months. Mm-hmm. Like, what should people be thinking about doing in those situations? They're either drinking to excess, it's affecting their life, or insert whatever you want there, drugs, alcohol, whatever you want. Like, what should people be doing? Like, again, getting help is the best thing you can do. But if it's 6 months away and you want to change now, what can I do?
Yeah, it's obviously different for many people. Some people, if you have a good support system, you can heal within your community, you can have your partner, you can tell them like, honey, if I'm trying to cut from 5 to 4, I want you to keep the rest of the drink locked away or something, or don't give me money for this, right? There's like strategies like that. You could get yourself other hobbies that are within your control, like exercise. It obviously doesn't come that easy if you're in a myth of addiction, right? It's a lot of effort. But finding some other things to do. There's also services, obviously, like Nas Recovery Centre and many other services that are bridging support. So in the meantime, you can talk to someone to learn some coping strategies to reduce your use while you're waiting, if it's safe to do so, with your GP support as well. And of course, support, having someone who's going to be there to hold your hand while you're waiting is so important. And that's why it's so different for some people, because they may not even have a safe accommodation to sleep in. They're on the street, they don't have family, and so trying to expect them to cut the only way they know how to cope is unrealistic. And so if that happened, obviously don't mix drugs, know what you're taking, do all the things that you could do to prevent, because at the end of the day the goal is to prevent death or injury, right? All that stuff can come later. The most important thing is you're staying alive. So talk to someone who can teach you how to use safely while you're waiting to achieve your ultimate goal, if that is abstinence. For mental health, obviously we have a wonderful country that have Medicare system. Speak to your GP. Again, there's some wait list, but start the process, because the sooner you start it, the sooner the wait can get shorter. And sometimes you may get in a lot sooner. So I don't want to discourage. There's so many complex and different areas and different services that you're needing. Some services are faster, depending on what it is you need, the complexity, the severity of your addiction. So still seek help anyway. But most importantly, If you have a support system, reach out to them. Tell them about what you're wanting to achieve. And I know when people gone through addiction or issues, they kind of burn their bridges and they lose trust. People don't trust them anymore. And so it can be really hard to tell people that you're trying to change who are thinking, no, you said that a million times, but just try again. And for those who are on the other end, like, give people a chance. People can change, and change is rewarding. And if change didn't exist, there wouldn't be all these services. Like, if we didn't believe people can change, if there's no evidence people can change, so people can change. And so if someone's reaching out saying, like, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, help me, lend a helping hand. And if you can't, find someone within your family who can, but don't dismiss people opportunity, or cry out for change. So I think that's just, from the top of my head is what people can do to just, while they're waiting. And yes, services, just move the wait list. Like it should be person based. Whoever is ready, help them. Not, like, you don't have all this paperwork, so therefore, like, sometimes there's people who are completely ready, but because they don't have the right documentations or they haven't ticked all the boxes, the paper go down on the bottom. And I find that a lot in my work, and it's quite frustrating. And if I can be frustrated in the comfort of my home where I have food, I don't have addiction, and I can be frustrated by the system, imagine someone who's already overwhelmed, someone who doesn't think they're even important, someone who is going through all this, and they met with, you need a letter from your GP to prove you need to go to rehab, you need blood test. What's all that about?
Yeah. I know what we say here isn't really going to change much. We're just two people talking. Hopefully a lot of people listening and want to help change things. But what are we missing there? Like, why is it so hard? Like,
people are disconnected. Like, a lot of services start with good intention and then they forget along the way. Obviously, there's a business component to everything. So the higher and the bigger the organization get, the more they lose their values. And obviously people they employ, if they're coming with sets of misconceptions and they have their own issues, how are they going to do the work? There's also no accountability when it comes to funding. I mean, there's not enough accountability of who did you serve, which group were they, are they the same 90% of the people you've been serving all along?
Okay.
Did you engage new people? Like, there need to be accountability. We need to make sure things are equitable. And you can do that by checking services. If you are servicing the same person and you're reporting it 99 times as you've served 90 people, but it's the same people, it's not reflective and it's not addressing the real needs, because there's people, there's levels, there's category to pain, and you need to be able to help those who are at risk of deteriorating faster. And a lot of time it's the marginalized communities, the people with gender issues and disability. Like, there's so many levels to it, and because there's no accountability, services can do what they want and with a little care. Or they will say, we don't have enough funding, that's why we didn't help. And then they just get more funding. And it's like, oh, we don't have more funding. Sometimes I just sit back, I'm just like, seriously? How many more millions do you need? Like, why is it you're saying you have wait lists because you had your 1 million taken away? Like, what's this got to do with, like, of course there is, like, shortage, and yes, it is. But just do authentic work. Like, you started it with very couple of $100, so, and you were able to do some work. Now you have millions, and all of a sudden you can't do any work because you need more millions. It's greed.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like you said, it would start with that one person, a lot of passion and minimal money, but as they get more and more, like, money and employees, it just dilutes. So what are you doing to combat that?
Well, I'm not really combating that because I can't really change the full system because I don't even have the luxury or the privilege of being there. But on the level, we do what we can. We are values driven, we are lived experience, we are connected to the community, and with the little that we have, we make a difference. And we employ people who also know that there may be time where we don't have resources. Will you have it in the tank to help? And we speak up. I'm not afraid to speak up. Lucky I'm not a politician, so nothing can be used against me. So I speak anywhere about the system that doesn't really hold big organizations and mainstream accountable for the work that they claim to do, that I can tell you from the ground, from the community I come from, I don't see it. Don't see it.
Would you ever get into politics?
No.
Why?
Don't need to. I've got enough in my hand to do.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't...
I can't do much there anyway, but I can do much on the ground. I need to be on the ground with the people. I enjoy my work, and politics is just politics, but my voice, I can speak anywhere.
100%.
Doesn't have borders.
100%. Back to the change thing, I just side thought, 100%, people can change, and I think people do need to give others more grace and love. Like, that's what this podcast is all about, helping people find their true form. So whether it's addiction or people trying to start their health and fitness, like health and fitness is a good example, because how many people start their diet on Monday, like every single Monday, and then the week comes through and they like fall off and then they're starting to make again. But it's that one Monday that makes that difference, that they stick with forever, and their whole life changes. And although somebody might be saying that, you know, this time I'm going to stop drinking, this time, and yeah, they might be saying it, you might not believe them anymore, but it's that one time they do stop.
They do.
That will change their life and everybody around them. So, yeah, a little bit of love and patience.
That's it.
Patience.
Red minds.
Is there any tips, I guess, for coaches out there that you work with a lot of people? Is there any way, patience is a big one, is what I'm going for here. So any other things that I can use as a coach to help people sort of stick to what they want to, like, again, overcome addictions? Like, how do I become a better coach is the simple answer there. Question.
You're even just asking that questions. That means you are already a better coach, because you're always willing to learn. I think when we're all willing to learn, I tell everybody, I'm always learning. I'm a student everywhere. I think the most important thing is to listen to people and not assume. Everyone's different. Like what I just said could be completely different for somebody else. So you can have that knowledge in the background that there's all these issues, but still ask the person. Get to know your clients or your participants or service user or whatever names that resonate with the work that you do. But most importantly, also be a role model. Like, share your stories about what worked for you. What was a challenge? What was the light bulb moment? Like, share those stories. Like, people may not do anything with that information at that moment, but eventually they'll remember, because Jack said that when he was experiencing, he did this. Maybe I could do that. Like, he's not any different to me. I could try that. So sharing stories, telling people stories about success and failures and what worked and what didn't work. Whether it's when you're doing the exercise and you get to share a story. Like, story sticks, you know, and they're usually authentic, so people can try and replicate that. So, and being a good role model, like, preach what you practice. So if, you know, obviously fitness is your thing, talk about it, be proud about it, brag about it. You know, I pride myself as the gratitude queen, and people see it. I glow well, I don't look like my problems, and because I actually practice what I preach. Yeah.
That was joy and gratitude are pillars to overcoming hard times. What do you mean by that?
Well, joy is about seeing the little things, and you don't have to be laughing, ha ha ha, but you could just feel it. Like, you could feel in your skin where you just feel joy. I don't know how to explain it, but I have lots of joy in me, and it's a different joy. It's not the joy that's look fully like laughing around, but it's just a joy that grounds me, that every single day I just look up. If you notice, when I came, like, I just took it all in. I'm like, it's a beautiful space. I'm happy to be here. I'm present. So because when you have that mindset, everything else seems to just be a noise, and you're like, I'm okay. Like, I use the word I'm okay, and I really mean it. Like, it's going to be all right. Like, there's going to be a better day. And so when you have joy, you see the good in everything, and it goes hand in hand with gratitude, where it's like, I can have a problem, and I'll be like, yeah, I don't like that. That's inconvenient. Like, I shouldn't have to be in that situation. However, if not me, then who? Right? So I'm just like, grateful for the challenges. I'm grateful for my life in refugee camp. I'm grateful for the situations I've gone through here. I'm grateful and grateful and grateful. It doesn't mean I'm like just okay with life, with things are. I'm still pushing for better day every day. Like I'm challenging myself. I'm trying to leave a legacy. I'm intentional about my decisions. I'm intentional about who I hang out with. I'm intentional what I consume, all that stuff. But I'm still like it's like I'm pursuing, but at the same time, I'm not like running. I'm just like, cool, problem. Goes, have you seen that Temple Run? Do you remember the Temple Run? That was my favorite game. It's like a golden thing, and it's like, and it jump over the thing, and it kept finding more challenges. Do you remember Temple Run?
I don't know.
Oh my god!
I remember the name, but I don't remember
Temple
the game.
Run. I played that game. It was so cool. Like it just kept coming through challenge, and would just like jump over, and it just and it jumps over, and it just like until you win, and it's like more challenges comes. I'm just like, okay, what's next? Bring it. But with like so much grace and joy and gratitude and groundedness.
So what's the end of the game? Like, what's winning?
Every day is winning. I'm healthy. I've got beautiful children. I've started one of the first African-led rehab in Victoria and Australia-wide, as far as I'm concerned. That is going to be the hub for mental health care for people from African backgrounds and other communities. We're gonna set a precedent for Australia to appreciate culturally responsive mental health. So that's winning.
It's a big win.
Yeah, so that's winning. And then winning is just every day when I'm better and I'm pushing myself to be greater, I feel so good. Like, ooh, you're not yourself like yesterday. You're thinking a lot different. The stuff that annoyed you yesterday, you're no longer like sweating over them. Like, good job. Like, I pat myself. I talk to myself when I'm driving. I tell myself, I'm like, good job. You know, like, yeah, you're running late, but you will get there. You're doing your best. Like, he will understand. Like, I talk to myself. I'm my best friend. I'm my own best friend. And so that's winning. When I push myself to be better is winning. And that's all I can do. I don't know what else is there, but I know I'm doing my best.
I talk to myself as well, but I write it down.
Yeah.
Like, what you just did, I was talking to a guest about this one time, like when you're feeling doubts, and he's like, you just find the evidence. Like you go back through the things you've been doing, and you can find evidence to prove the person you are because you've been doing those things. Yeah. And I journal them out. You talk to yourself in the car. So it's the same thing. Like sometimes when I'm feeling like, who am I? Like, you have those times.
Yep.
And you just got to go back and go, oh yeah, I have done this, and this.
Yep.
So I am that person.
Yeah, because your brain will try to trick you, especially when you see everything that everyone's doing. Like our brain wired that way, and it'll try to trick you that you haven't done enough. And you can reflect. If you think you haven't done enough, it's okay to also tell yourself, because there's seasons you haven't done enough. There's seasons where you procrastinated a lot more. There's seasons where that's okay. It's good to also hold yourself accountable. Say, I didn't do this. Why was that? What was I distracted? Okay, I know better now, right? But just talking to yourself is really important, both positively, but also holding yourself accountable, but not in a negative, like, look at you, like, like, no, you wouldn't talk to your best friend like that, so you wouldn't do it to yourself. Or if you did, they'll punch you in the face and they will not be your friends anymore.
Exactly. That accountability, I think that's a good thing to have. In those moments where you're thinking that you aren't pushing hard enough and you're like, oh, yeah, I could have done more here, here and here. Like, what is that thought pattern? Like, to then go, okay, this is what I need to do and keep moving forward. So how do you spot those times when you're not doing as much and then not be so harsh on yourself, but then how do you come out the other side and actually start getting things done?
Yeah. I think it's different for everyone. For me, how I track it is, obviously I've written some goals down, and every now and then when I remember where I actually saved them, because they're on my phone, but I forget where it was notes or whatever, so I'll have to like search goals, and it's like, okay, maybe I use asset. What's a title? Because it's like whenever I think about something straight away, I get my phone, I quickly write it down, and I forget what was the heading, so it takes me time. But whenever I get a chance, I keep reviewing. It could be as simple as call that friend, or be a better sister, or whatever. Like, I put everything is there with a little bit of reason to why I needed to do that. And so I check, and if I can see that a short-term goal that I set in January is still sitting there, I'm like, okay, I haven't even done that. What happened? Oh, I got busy. Okay, you need to get to it. Like, you didn't write it down just because. You wrote it because it meant something to you, so you need to follow. So does that make sense? So I think it helped in this busy and chaotic world, and so many goals we're all pursuing, the health, the mortgages or rent or whatever, there's so many things now. Like, I think in this day and age it was just food we needed to pursue. Now we have to pursue so many things if we want to exist and be part of these communities. Like, so much expected from us. And so writing it down and then making a system where you're evaluating it and checking again and breaking it down to like short-term goals, medium goal, and then like overall goal. If you have that system, then you can keep ticking off. It feels really good to tick the most little things. Like, I've texted that person back. I'm like, yay, I'm very responsive, you know?
Where did that come from? Like, when did you start
being organized?
Writing things down, because I think that's very valuable to do. Like, a lot of people have thoughts, and they're great thoughts, but then, like all thoughts,
goes exactly.
So, like, how do we get in a better habit of writing those thoughts out, and where did that come from for you?
Yeah. So for me, because I think a lot, because again, remember I said I try to control my thoughts, so there's a lot of dialogue happening in my head with every decision, and it'll be like, no, you can, and everything is almost like a bit calculated before I do it. And so I need to be able to write those down, because I'm not going just as I'm not going with the flow so much. It means I actually have to write those things down. Otherwise, I'll just be stuck in this dialogue forever. But also when I was doing my studies, the bachelor, one of the module was a reflective practice. Like, we had to do journaling. And so we had to actually write, like, if there's assignments you've done or there's something you encounter, you have to reflect on what it meant. And so I was like, oh, this is a really good system. At first I was like, what, you wrote, like, it's not an essay, you just want me to write my thoughts down about how I felt about this whole situation? And they're like, yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so good.
You know, and so I started to do that. And then after that, I just started to, I write everything down, whether it's my note. I've got journals everywhere in the house, but sometimes my life is so busy I don't have time to actually write. But my phone is with me, so I just go to the notes and everything's written down in there somewhere, and always revisiting, and if it's gone I tick it off and things like that. So through my studies and then also my work life and trying to also be a role model, I obviously have to lead many things, not only my children's life. Like, I need to know when their next appointment, their doctor's appointment is. I need to know when I need to look for the school, what are they eating, like everything. I have to write that down, because I'm leading that portion of my life. I'm also leading my life, and then my work and staff and the community and many things. So if I just have all that sitting in my head, it would be so disorganized. So I kind of like been forced into using what I learned in school to put it into practice, and it became a system. And it's probably the only system I have. Everything else is not a system. Like I said to you, I don't have a routine in terms of waking up. I don't do any exercise, like nothing else but that system work, where first every year, I literally record myself. And sometimes I want to post them, but I haven't posted them because it's usually like 1 a.m. And I'm like, dear Nyachan, you know, you've done all this, and this time next year exactly you would have done this. And I'll just flow it without any like organize, and then I'm like, that's it, I need to write those down. That's exactly, if it's coming to my head and to my heart, it must be because I want it. So that's what we're going to work on. So I then write them as a goals.
Love that. I do that as well. Every year I talk to the camera.
Yep.
I don't always release it, but
me neither.
Sometimes I try to, because it's good for people, again, to understand that. And if I'm doing it, hopefully it inspires other people to do it. But having that record of yourself every year in a row, it's inspirational for you, looking back. Because, again, memories are great, but you sort of don't really remember. Yeah, and if I think of something too, I'll write it in a note. Like, you know, sometimes when you go to hotels and they have like those notebooks, I take all of them. If they're watching, they're like, oh my gosh, I'll write something in there, whatever comes to mind about my goals, about how I feel, and I'll write it and I'll date it. And then I'll put it inside my journal. And then randomly I'll be going through my journal and I'll find it there and I'll be like, what was I thinking at that moment? This is very good. And then that becomes like the guide for the next thing I want to do. Yeah. Do you keep a diary, like a schedule of your day?
It's on my phone, and yesterday, my goodness, my phone decided not to work. I felt so lost. So now I'm going to go back into the diary. It was like worse, well, not worse, 12 hours that felt like, I felt dizzy. I was like, what was I supposed to do? It's 1 o'clock now. Did I have any appointment? So usually I have a calendar that, again, has everything from send that email to checking emails to da-da-da-da. Everything, again, has to be scheduled. Otherwise, if it's not there, it's gone. Like, I remember it once it's actually already happened. Like, I'll be sitting and someone message, hi Nyachan, I'm just wondering if you're joining the meeting. I'm like, oh no, I didn't look at my diary. So nothing actually sits in my head. Everything is written down, especially things that needs to be action is written down. Things that are in my head are the future thinking, are the goals, are the dreams, are the free flow that comes from joy and gratitude, are the things I notice around me. That's what sits in my head. Any schedule is written down. Anything that needs to happen now is written down. The future stuff just comes.
I think that's massively underrated and underlooked because you are doing so much. You're a mother of 3. You got all this stuff happening. Like, I can't even. I struggle to sort of think about trying to get everything done, and I feel like you're doubling everything I get done. But it's sort of reassuring to know that you just schedule everything out. It's in your schedule, put it there, and you just get it done.
Yeah, and you try. And if you miss it, you reschedule for the next day. And it takes priority because it was missed. Yeah.
Writing stuff down and journaling and thoughts and all that sort of stuff, is that stuff you recommend in the workshops and all stuff that you do?
Yeah. Yep. So when I was working in rehab for different organizations, I used to run a group called Journaling. And I would get the groups to do the journaling, and we'll teach them different type of journaling, from goals journaling to reflective journaling to gratitude journaling. Like, different type of journaling has a different type of writing. So your goals, you're obviously just writing your goals. Your reflection could be this situation, this session we're doing. I can go and reflect about what went well, what didn't go, what I could do better next time, blah, blah, blah. And then obviously gratitude, things you're grateful for. So writing 3 things you're grateful for every night, to end the day with positivity, and in the morning writing your goals. And so there's a lot of evidence that journaling, like, it is good for depression, it's good for managing anxiety, it's good for managing memory issues, which a lot of people, when you're overwhelmed, you have memory issues, and with age as well. It is just good to put your thoughts out there, so it's not sitting in your heart, it's not manifesting to something else. Like, so many benefits. I can go on, and it's your secret space. Like, it's better than like just going out there and just verbally, like, let's say you're upset about something, instead of just chucking out on people, you could write it down and you let it out, and you will still have the same experience as if you told someone, but they didn't get to see it, and now you don't have to be sorry, you don't have to take it back. It's written, and that's how you feel, and it's between you and your pen and paper. Like, so many benefits to writing. So I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're trying to reorganize your life and you want to leave a little bit in a grounded space where you feel that sense of ease and sense of order. Writing your things down, and it doesn't have to be pretty, but just writing them down. Like, you could just go to Kmart and get a cheap book. Like, it doesn't have to be those expensive places, but just write. It's even good now, like, with this technology, we're all losing our pen license, right? We can't spell because everything is being pre-spelled for us. It's even more important now to prioritize things that allows you to use your brain, which means when you're writing, you have to actually, think about what you're saying and writing it down. So I think journaling couldn't be more important than now.
100% agree. Every month I share my thoughts. I write my thoughts down like you do, and I put them on social media. I'm left-handed and I don't write much.
I'm left-handed.
So it's a mess.
Yeah.
So it takes me about 5 goes to actually get it nice so people can read what I'm writing. But again,
I couldn't write. I couldn't show my writing. I have the worst handwriting, but I didn't do my primary school. I didn't do kinder, so that's my excuse. No one taught me how to write. But
mine is as well, but I figure if people see me doing it and it's so bad, hopefully it inspires them to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my thought behind it.
My diary never going to make it. Like, that's one thing I get so conscious of, and one day I'll master it when I'm retired and have nothing else to do. I'll learn how to write properly, because I would love to write so neat in the line, and it's not going up and all that stuff. Like I was just,
lefties always go.
Yeah, it just goes. I'll start nice, and then if you're watching, and it just kind of goes up, and I'm like, there you go. Hopefully, you can read it.
But that's the point. Like, no one needs to read it, especially when you're journaling, and that's the point I was trying to make. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just pen and paper. A lot of the time, there's no grammar in mind. There's spelling mistakes everywhere.
You know it. You understand it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any other things that you do in the workshop? So journaling and all that sort of stuff. Anything practical things like that?
Yeah. So the support groups that we run Mondays and Tuesday, it's a psycho-educational group. So we cover various topics from financial well-being to positive communication styles, boundaries, emotional regulations, like every topic that's different that is informed by the group themselves. So we're just there to teach people some skills that sometimes they already know. Most of the time people know things that they just don't utilize them, or they didn't see the importance of utilizing or when to utilize them. So our group is there to just help people become aware of what they already know and the purpose on how they can actually apply it to their lives to improve many areas of their lives. In the collective healing workshop, we do things like we would engage a therapist, of whether it's yoga or art therapist. They would come and they will specialize what they do. At the moment, we're looking to plan grief and healing activities just to help people not just grieve as in lost loved one, but losing your culture, losing your identity, losing your job, relationship, whatever loss may look like for many people. Just being able to so that's my new, well, it's not new, but it's been around for a while. It's cool. You heard it first here. It's called Grief Wellness. I've been working on that for maybe about 5 years. I had that name in my diary for so long before I even knew what that meant. But I was like, I've seen enough from my community that I think used to grieve really, like they knew how to deal with grief, but now our cultural way of doing things, our practices, they all kind of jumble up with the Western system. So we're like doing a bit of both, which means none of them is effective because it's like two different cultures that don't even like make sense when it comes to grieving and healing. And so I've always wanted to be part of, I guess, reminding and retraining and working with the community to learn to go back to the traditional way of grieving. Yeah, we grieve together, we eat, we talk, we encourage each other. We still do it, but it's like so many systems that can't allow it. Like if you live in a 2-bedroom home, your whole community can't come and grieve with you, which means people have to take turns, which means that togetherness is being, if you work, you can't just be home to like accommodate your guests who are here, you gotta go back to work. People are being given like only a couple of days to grieve, whereas back home we have a whole community, that would be around, and everybody worked in their either farm or something. Like you didn't have to have a boss you had to report to, right? So that's exciting stuff.
That's very exciting. I think, like you said, that's very timely at the moment. Grief wellness. I'm excited to hear that. Hopefully you can come back on and we can just do a whole podcast on that, I reckon.
Yeah.
Mentors or people you look up to. You said before we started recording, you were saying you like to surround your people with people that are like doing more than you. That you admire.
Yeah.
Again, where does that come from? Just Mamuch, who I've had on the podcast as well, he said the same thing. Absolute legend.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of envious of that because obviously it's a cultural thing as well, I've noticed. And I guess I didn't really have that growing up. I guess I craved it as a young male. I guess you crave that sort of thing to look up to people, and now you sort of transition that into the social media age, and that can be sort of ripped into many different ways and influenced in bad ways as well. So is that a cultural thing, like looking up to and surrounding yourself with people like that, or
no? Not a culture thing. I think it's many things, like from your upbringing. Like my family, we're very black and white, and it's just like, don't do something you're going to regret. Like no one's going to give you grace if you're being silly. Like a bit of perfectionist. And so that was my upbringing, where it's like I have to take accountability for things I do. Like there was, And so I think everyone is different. What drives me is that, I've always choosing who I surround myself with and being really selective with only being around people that actually have values that aligns. Like I'm also a very value-based person. Like I look deeply between the way people talk, what they do, their lifestyle. Like, should I trust what they're doing? Like I'm quite selective, but it served me well. Like whenever everything I achieved is because I also had support of people that I admire, and they offered something in return, either challenge me to be a better person or connect me to people who can help or trust in me or encouraged me. If I just surround myself with people who are just like me, I don't know, like I don't know where it would have gone, but we won't know now because I'm not going back that way. So yeah, it always served me well, being around people. Like since even when I was younger, I always hang around with people who were older than me. So for as long as I've known, people always thought I was older. Like I'm old now, but when I was younger, like I haven't changed much. I have different goals, but I'm the same. Been always kind of like know what I'm doing. You could see me in a whole crowd. You think I'm like what they're doing, I'm part of it, but it's like I'm completely like in a different mindset. And so being around people that inspire me, that I have values, has always served me well. And so I'm like, why change it now? People who mentor me, they have people with lots of experience, like, you know, and they're people who will tell me as it is. And I love that. Like if I choose you as my mentor, or if I'm surrounding myself with you, it's because I want you to challenge me. I don't want yes man type of friendship, because if I want that, I can go from social setting, have fun for one night, go home type of thing. If you're going to be in my life, it's going to be people who help me grow, and hopefully also the people, there's something they like about me and I inspire them in their own way, and if you interview them, they probably say something similar in their own way. So there's give and take, but it all starts with values. What do you like? I like social justice, I like truth, I like growth, you know, I like learning, I like, what else? Kindness. I like people who see the bigger picture. I like people who have lots of gratitude. I love, people who also have silly side to them. Like I'm very sarcastic as well. So, you know, so I like a lot. And I look in all that. I'm like, okay, if they can't tick all, at least they have to tick their truthfulness, the authenticity, that word.
Yes. How do you find those people?
Just putting yourself out there through work, through connections, talking to people, telling people this is what you like, you know, like being also open about the things you like, because then they'll hear and be like, oh, me too. Like, oh, I also struggle. Like it goes back to that storytelling. The more you talk and share your story and be a bit vulnerable, the more you attract other people to be like, I like that about that person. Let me see if I can connect with them. But if you just keep yourself reserved, like no one's going to read your mind. They're not going to know from face value whether you connect or not. So talk about yourself, talk about what you do, connect with people, ask, and if there's someone you inspire. I did this coaching course. I can't remember how many weeks. It was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 weeks or 13 weeks. It was long. I can't remember now. But I did that. And the first session, we were told if there's someone who you want to mentor, as much as you want to be a mentor, if there's someone you want to be mentor, text them or write them a message. Write what you're going to do to them. And I did that. Straight away, I was like messaging people. I'm like, would you be my mentor? And people are like so receptive. So if you don't ask, you won't get.
But for me, like there's a lot of people I'd love to message, would you be my mentor? But what do I say? Like,
Simply say what you like about them. Okay. Where's the values? What is the one thing? You don't have to say, like, tell them everything, because they probably already know. But simply say, hi, I've been watching you. Say something that you truthfully you connect with. And I was just wondering if you would like to catch up. Trust me, people, especially when you like float their boat like that, they want to catch up. Because everybody wants to be like, ooh, I'm like, you know. So they will catch up. And then when you catch up, you can talk more about whether they have the capacity, whether they're available. And if they don't, they will tell you, they will connect you to someone else, or maybe not this round, but at some point they will think of you. But there's something, it's like asking for a pay raise. Once you've done it once, you become comfortable with it. And one of my other mentor told me that a long time ago for the first time. It was like, you need to ask for a pay raise. And I was like, but they, like, I don't want to be greedy. They're like that was not for this organization, but when I was working on normal jobs where I was doing so much, and they said to me, you want to run the race for them, so they need to give you the feel to run the race. Otherwise, you keep walking. You've got the potential, so say it. Simply say, I would like to catch up, or let me know who I need to talk to about pay raise. And when I did that and it got rejected, I was like, that's it. I'm going to go even bigger now. Like, so it's the same thing. Once you ask once, it becomes comfortable, and you can learn from that, whatever they say. If they said, oh, thank you, mate, I'm busy, that's great. At least now you know that's the only response you'll get anyway. Like, in terms of, if you don't ask, you don't know what type of response you get. So you learn from it. But simply just scripting what it is you like about the person, or what it is that you admire, and say, let's catch up. Especially the higher the people are, the more they want to catch up with people. Because everybody get to the point in their life, it doesn't matter what you're doing, every single one of us as human have something to offer. It doesn't matter how much you make, what grade you have. Every single one of us get to a level that someone else is not at. And when you get to that, there's something about wanting to give back. If people have their values in the right places, of course, not everybody. But so the higher the person in your own perceive bigger where they're at, the more they actually would make time to speak to you, because they reach a certain point where they're like, I'm ready to give back, but they just don't know who, or they just haven't identified. And so you are saying, I've been watching you, I'm liking what you're doing, I'm moved by it, which just shows that the recipe of whatever they're doing is working, because people are watching and they are moved by it and they want to learn from it. Why would you not want to give that?
So we've found our mentors, we've become a better person, we are where we want to be. How then do we become mentors? Use your
experience. Use what you know, like fitness is your thing. And fitness comes with a lot of grit, discipline, mindset, valuing your health, like so many things. I'm sure you know, so many things. Those are really important lessons you can teach someone who's going through stress, who's going through separation, who's going through homelessness, who's going through unemployment. Like, they can be applied to anyone. Having the grit, having the discipline, being able to value yourself, your well-being, eating well, sleeping well, all that stuff that people into fitness. I don't do that, but I understand the concept. And when I want to get there, I'll do that, right? So you can, again, watch for people. You can actually pursue. You can actually say to someone, I want to mentor you. I've done that too. In that course, they were like, ask someone to mentor you, but also ask someone who you want to mentor. And I did that. I messaged people and was like, hey, I'm doing this course and I would like to give some of my hours to mentor you. Yeah. So you can ask people. And so you get mentored and you're mentoring someone. And now it just becomes this full circle. You're learning and you're sharing it. And everybody, like, that's how you contribute to building the community in a different way.
We're coming up on time. We'll touch on one more.
Yep.
Sort of touch on it through that conversation then, but rejection. How do you deal with rejection? Because obviously you would have dealt with it a lot.
A lot in my work.
Yes.
Whether my idea is too much, or whether my focus group is too much, or whether my passion is too much, or whether I talk a lot. I hear all the time. And every now and then I may feel, tired, because it's like, I'm just trying to do the right thing. Like, why does it have to be this hard? But then I'm just like, it wasn't supposed to be easy. They're not my people, so I just keep going. So from work-wise, it just gives me more determination to be stronger, learn what I need to learn, whether it's the way I speak or what I pitch. I go back and relook at my approach, reevaluate, and goes, I'll come back. And if it's not that person, I go to someone else. And if I can bypass the person who reject me, I go as further as I can to be like, missed opportunity here. You look at that, right? And then in other things, like, as I grow, I'm starting to become introvert. Like, I used to be very extrovert. Like, I had so many people who I knew and I thought they were my friend. Like, I was very popular, maybe because I had a car and lived at a home and had a good job. Maybe. Who knows? But now I'm very introvert. Like, it's a 1, 2, 3 strike, you're out. If people if I sense any sense of rejection, I'm quick to just go, you're not my people, I'm moving. So I can't really like speak to rejection in personal life because there's not even an opportunity to get rejected because I'm not doing anything with anybody. I'm not talking to anyone. But yeah, professionally, I just reevaluate. If there's anything that I can learn, maybe I went too hard. Maybe I didn't give enough information, which makes it fair for people to reject it because nobody has time to read your thoughts if you didn't really articulate them well. So I evaluate myself. Or sometimes people just jealous, sabotages. They don't want to see you going up. Black young woman would like, why would they want you to be, before them or whatever? So I know all those things. I'm aware of the power play that plays into the rooms I could be in. So I don't take that as anything. I'm like, it was done before. There's women way before me that have set the bar high. So don't dwell on it, keep going. And so I take that better, but I think in a personal life, I just delete and block. So it's like I do completely opposite.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. Like, as you said, as you get older and you start understanding more people better, you just have that ability to just go, that's it. Like,
Yeah, I don't have patience for certain things, but for my career, my children, different story. For my normal life, it's just like if it's not working, it's not. And I just don't look at a rejection. I'm just like, I don't even think I take time to even look at a rejection. I just move on. I just forget, disconnect.
Yeah. But that's also good because you don't want to linger on it as well because
true.
That can cause...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nyachan, thank you. Any final thoughts? Where can people find you? Work with you?
Yeah, so you can find me through Nas Recovery Centre. So that's NAS Recovery Centre. We are in Cranbourne West. We open, Monday to Wednesday there, 9 to 5, for drug and alcohol, mental health, or anything that the person wants to talk about. Just come to the centre. There's always people there to support. In terms of personally, you can reach me on LinkedIn. I believe it's Nyachan Nyak, Nyak. I don't know where this has a dot in it, but you just have to search it up, and it's quite unique. So
I'll link them all in the show notes.
Yeah. And then Instagram. I'm quite active on all the social media because of what I do. I want to be able to reach the community, and I don't have a marketing agency, so I'm my own, my personal platforms. I'm using it to get the message out there that there is help that's available. So you can find me on pretty much all social media. Amazing. Except Twitter and TikTok. I don't know how to use it, so.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time. Yeah. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
I've got about 1,000 follow-up questions, so we're going to have to do round 2 at some point.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Thank you.